Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 17th. This is going to be part 1 of your reading. There will be a part 2 linked up in the comments down below, but we're just going to jump right in here, Libra. Sorry, and let's just get that camera to focus, and then we will get started, Libra. You start off with this rhinoceros spirit card, and it does say the word moderation on it, and what I would say is that you have the Ten of Wands here as well. And so the Ten of Wands, it's not really necessarily a card of moderation, but you know, it can be a card of overdoing something and taking on too many responsibilities from another person. So I feel for and that's what I feel for you. You know, again, to be fair, what I would say is, I don't know, there's something going on this week clearly in the collective that I feel is affecting pretty much every single person that exists, because every single reading that I've done has had, I've done a majority of the readings this week already, and a majority of them have this focus on needing to either like stick up for yourself, watch out for other people's words, or if you're taking on too many responsibilities from other people, you know, a lot of the readings have been talking about that, have been talking about needing to make sure that you're not doing those things, and I kind of feel that for you here. So the moderation card, I like that it's showing up as moderation, because it's not saying, you know, the card isn't saying don't do things for other people. It's not saying don't do the things you enjoy or whatever. It's just saying in moderation, you know, do it, make sure it's not causing burdens with the Ten of Wands. So in this row, you have the Ten of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Star card. You know, this could be why, you know, right off the bat, I mean, down and dirty tarot, Four of Swords and the Star is like, maybe you need to release these burdens with the Ten of Wands so that you can get to a place of rest. He's about to reach a place of sanctuary, this village over here. So he's about to drop those wands. He's almost at the end of his journey, and he's about to take a rest. So, you know, Four Swords and the Star can just represent taking some time for yourself, resting, relaxing, recovering. You have this Passion card showing up next as well. And so maybe you just need some time for your passions or to do things that you enjoy. I'm not sure what this card is at the end here. I just wanted to see what it was. But again, I feel like maybe, you know, doing something that you are passionate about or working on your passions would be a good outlet for your energy. And it's probably where you're going to get a lot of answers. The card that I wanted to look at here, I'll show you in a minute, but it's called the Candle, and it says you will be shown the way. And I've talked about this a million times before. It's like if we're too much in this energy, or even in like the Knight of Swords, to me, the Knight of Swords is also, you know, carrying too many burdens. He's not really carrying burdens, but he's trying to force something to happen. And if we're carrying too many burdens, sometimes we can try to force something to happen. If we dive into our passions, if we dive into doing things like hobbies or things that we enjoy, and we do them just because we enjoy them, that's it, that's the only reason, then sometimes we're given answers. You know, I've talked about this a million times. You know, years ago I was like suffering, and it wasn't until I started doing things that I enjoyed that I started getting answers kind of like on the direction I need to go in my life, what I needed to do, all that other stuff, instead of just like sitting and stewing and being angry all the time. I had to like go do things that I loved doing. But you know, it's kind of hard because, like, trust me, I was in this mental place where I was like, I was almost punishing myself because I was like, I had no money, I had like nothing. And I was basically punishing myself because I felt like the only thing I could do was butt my head against the wall and like work as hard as I possibly could. I'm getting that for you here, but it wasn't until I said, okay, nothing is working. And I get a lot of comments from people who are like, nothing is working. And you know what? That's okay. Because maybe you're in a position where nothing you try in love, in business, in spirituality is working, but maybe it's just the universe trying to say, no, nothing is going to work until you, release, until you relax. And again, I know it's, trust me, like I said, I know it's super hard to do. I didn't want to do it because, you know, I was kind of like in that mode of forcing things to happen. Really, that's all I feel like your first row is talking about. That's why I'm telling you this, because, that's what I get energetically, and that's it. In your next row, you have this Fifth House card, and this card says Passion on it. Like I said, I feel that working on your passions is a good idea. That's where you can get a lot of answers. I think when we kind of work on our passions or we do things that we enjoy, we just leave our head, we leave our brain, and we stop thinking about our worries and concerns. And when we do that, it's like, then again, you're freeing up your brain waves or whatever you want to call it, and answers can come in. The other thing is like when you're doing this, sometimes when you just surrender, I feel like you can discover answers as well. It's like during that time of my life, to get out of it, I started going for walks every single day. I would just like walk wherever, nowhere. And I was listening to audiobooks while I was walking, and I found a lot of answers in those audiobooks. I discovered like motivational people like Zig Ziglar and stuff like that, and others. And it's like I got a lot of answers, and I was able to progress much faster because I was like learning while I was doing that. But it was like a passion of mine. But again, I feel like focusing on your passions would be a good idea. It's going to increase your luck is what's popping into my head, focusing on your passions. You have the Sun, the Page of Swords, and the Two of Cups here. I do feel there is a lot of happy. It's like this is the state that the universe wants us all to be in. It's pretty crazy. I don't think, thinking back to the past, I don't think I've ever had a group of readings, the first quarter readings, and then this week, the week of the 17th, the Sun came up a bunch in those first quarter readings, and it's coming up a bunch in these this week. The 17th, it's coming up a lot in these weeks. The Sun is considered the best card in the tarot, but it's almost like I feel more that the universe wants us to be in this state, this childhood, this childlike, happiness and joy. This is the state that the universe wants us to be living in. It is like the highest vibration, if that makes sense. So I feel in a lot of ways the universe wants you to be in this energy. Maybe you're not there yet, but I feel that the universe is encouraging you to move in this direction. You also have the Sun and the Star. To me, the Sun and the Star is fame and fortune. As I always say, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to become famous, but it can represent very positive attention being available to you. So it's kind of like one of those energies. The reason I'm saying this is available to you is because of the Magician also shows up at the end here. This gives me the vibes of like if you want a raise at work, for example, do extra work because the Sun and the Star are shining their light on you, meaning you can get more attention at this time, meaning if you want a raise or a promotion, do extra work, and the Magician will kind of like bring in the raise or promotion. Same thing if you want a job, it would probably be a really good time for you to highlight some of your talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. Definitely popping into my head. Same thing with what's the word I'm looking for? For love is what I was looking for. If you want love, I would definitely put yourself out there. This is like a lot of attention coming in for you with this energy. Your center card is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is like my card of curiosity. Page of Swords is my card of needing to be curious, needing to dig deeper into anything that comes your way. And that's really, I'm just feeling that meaning for you this week, Libra. I feel like it is just saying like, hey, there are some opportunities for you, but you're gonna have to like look into them. And you have the Two of Cups as well. There definitely is love available to you. The Two of Cups could be a perfect match, but this bottom row here, you have the Star, the Two of Cups to the King of Cups. It could be a water sign, doesn't have to be. This is just a general reading, but there's definitely love coming in for you. This would actually be Leo. You have Aquarius and a water sign. You have Aquarius twice here, actually. It doesn't really surprise me. I don't really think that we should focus on the sun sign anyway, but it's kind of funny whenever we get like Leo and then Aquarius is like they're opposites in the zodiac. This happens every single time I do a reading where a person entering into the reading outside of you, it kind of shows up as one or the other, if that makes sense. So definitely jumping out at me. It could be like a Leo who has Aquarius on the chart or an Aquarius who has Leo on their chart or something along those lines, but that's kind of standing out to me. For others, I really feel that this is like talking yourself into something. This is you and your higher self. There is the Staff of Hermes right there, and the Staff of Hermes represents communication. So I do feel for some of you, there is like this need to maybe talk yourself into trying something or doing something, especially if you're not feeling like getting out of bed, especially if you just want to stew like I did. Trust me, I stewed for like 3 years straight. Like I said, it's like, if you want to do it, do it. I don't recommend it though, because really I made no progress at that time. I shouldn't say that, because I did make a lot of progress, but still, it was like a very stagnant period of my life. So I would definitely recommend getting moving and moving forward. You have the Candle card that says you will be shown the way, and you have this Egg card. It looks like a golden egg, and it says success assured with good plans and hard work. There you go. What's really interesting is that what I would say is super interesting is the fact that every single sign this week has had more of this hard work energy, like needing to put in the work, needing to put in the effort. Normally it's kind of like, I would say 50-50, more like, most of my readings seem to be like, don't force things to happen, put in the work. But if you're pushing too hard, that can kind of push things away. I think it would be just a good week for work and putting in the work to to create whatever it is that you want to create. You have the Magician, the Five of Wands, and the King of Cups showing up in this row. Again, the Magician is also a card that I've kind of noticed has been showing up a lot this week. I said it to one of the other signs. I've never had a week where there are so many repeating cards between signs. It's pretty interesting to me when this happens. It's like, there's clearly some sort of major collective energy. When I did the quarterly readings, they were shockingly similar between all the signs. So, this first quarter could be a little weird. I don't think things are necessarily going to get worse. Like, people ask me about coronavirus and stuff. I really can't say anything because of the rules on YouTube, but what I would say is that I don't think things are going to get worse. I think things are going to get better, actually, but things are definitely going to get weirder is what I would also say. You might feel like you're living in a bizarro world. You might be... we might see things where it's like people are saying one thing, another group is saying another thing, and there's just like these differences. There might be very solid evidence smacking us in the face about this, that, or the other thing. And again, I'm not making any political statements here. I'm just saying, you might see weird stuff going on where you're like, where kind of like you're seeing the truth of something, but everybody's saying something else. That's about as detailed as I'll get. So, figure that out on your own there, Libra, but just something to pay attention to. Again, I think things are going to get probably weird, maybe, but probably better. So, that's this. But the Magician is more about you kind of like putting in the work. So I do feel like it is putting in the work. And where I was going with that is everybody's been getting the Magician this week at rant over, sorry. But what I would say is that he does represent work. He represents using your words. He's pointing to the flowers in the ground in front of him. The ground that he's pointing at is like saying ground something in reality. The flowers represent focusing on your bliss, focusing on your joy, focusing on doing something that you love. Because when we do that, we're in the highest vibration. We can attract more good stuff into our life. He also has mastery over all the suits on his card. Here, he has the cups, the wands, the swords, and the pentacles on his card. So it's like he can use every single tool at his disposal. And so I think that sometimes the Magician just wants us to be more flexible. Sometimes I feel the Magician is just saying, like, hey, you might be using pentacles when creativity with the wands would be better, or action with the wands would be better, or maybe your words with the swords, or whatever, So definitely something to think about. I do believe that this Five of Wands is also talking about the work. Five of Wands is a card of conflict and competition, but as I always say, these people on here, the card itself represents immaturity because they're young people, but they're fighting with sticks. They're actually learning how to fight. They're not like using swords. They're not chopping each other up, right? So it's really a card of training and learning through competition or chaos or whatever you want to call it. But I really feel like it's just talking about the work. To me, it's a card of a journey because, think about it. When you were younger and you learned things, it's like a journey. You're maturing. So these people, or these guys on the card here, they are kind of reaching this level. They're working towards maturity. And I feel like it's just talking about the journey of the hard work that you're doing. And finally, you have the King of Cups. I do feel like this could be a person, love, coming in for you. Could be any sign. Again, I always say, it doesn't surprise me King of Cups is showing up. I do feel that in a lot of ways there are two kind of energies that are maybe more attractive because of the time that we're living in right now. One would be like emotional maturity, emotional security. King of Cups, he has like very deep emotional security. He doesn't care what's going on around him. He is always like very centered, very stable because he has deep control over his emotions. Probably when at a time where everyone is freaking out, if there's a person who's just emotionally stable, probably very attractive, right? The other is King of Wands, by the way, if you're wondering, and it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. King of Wands is very creative and very hardworking, very nurturing energy as well. But I do feel like this could be a person coming in for you. For others, I feel it's just saying your emotions are kind of creating your reality at this time. The Magician, by the way, I always pull the card that he is pointing towards, and it kind of looks like he's pointing at this one right here. It might be these, but I don't know. I'm just going to pull this one right here. And are you kidding me? You have the sun. So this card says Source on it. These are astrological oracle cards. I actually don't remember the name of this deck, but it's funny that you have the sun twice, basically. So I do feel there's a lot of happiness and attention coming in for you. What I would say to you is, I really feel like this reading is talking about fun and having as much fun as you possibly can. There's also something here about your attention. Again, we're going to do a part 2 right now. It'll be linked up in the pinned comment down below. I have a feeling that the reading itself is going to say, basically, where energy goes, where energy flows, energy goes, or whatever that saying is. I can never remember, right? I'm terrible with the sayings. I don't even know why I try. But what I would say is that I feel like where your attention goes, energy flows. Is that it? I feel like the sun and the star, that's a very strong attention energy. And you have the sun twice, kind of. So, I feel like it's going to say something along those lines. But that'll be linked up down below. So thank you for being here, Libra. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.